Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Cucumber Horse deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because this deck is actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Mimi. And this deck is an extremely interesting deck based around the card Cucumber Horse. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. And definitely give Mimi some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So let's get straight on into this one, guys. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Cucumber Horse. Cucumber Horse is an extremely interesting card. It has the ability that this card in the monster zone is sent to the graveyard except during the battle phase. And at the start of the battle phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can send a plant monster from your hand or face up from the field to the graveyard to special summon this card. Then you can special summon a monster from either player's graveyard to your side of the field. But these special monsters are sent back to the graveyard at the end of the battle phase, which is an extremely interesting effect to basically make this card a monster reborn, to bring back any monster you want to your side of the field, because we have some very interesting targets that you can actually summon off the effect of Cucumber Horse, and depending on what your opponent's playing, you can also bring back those cards, which is absolutely insane. We then play 2 copies of Punk Xiaomin. Xiaomin is really good in the deck as a 2-0 to be able to play because this card has a great effect that you can pay 600 life points to add a Punk monster from your deck to your hand. But we're usually summoning this card off of E-Telly, which is why we just play 2. We then play a single copy of Wagon. Wagon is great as a 1-of as well because this card helps us search our field spell, and then lets you pay 600 life points to add a Punk spell from your deck to your hand. We then play a single copy of Shirakusai. Shirakusai is great as a 1-of as well because this card helps us quick synchro or quick fusion depending on whose turn it is, because you can pay 600 life points during your turn to fusion summon a Punk fusion monster from your X deck, or during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can actually pay 600 life points to immediately start resolves. You get to synchro summon a Punk synchro monster using cards you control as a material, helping you instantly go in for a copy of Amazing Dragon during the opponent's turn. We then play a single copy of Deer Note. Deer Note is great as a 1-of in this deck because this card has an insane effect that you can actually reveal one other Punk monster in your hand and then special summon either the revealed monster or this card and send the other to the graveyard, which is a great effect to be able to use. But this card is what we usually summon off our copy of our Rising card, alongside a copy of, say, Wagon. This card also has a really cool ability. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can actually target a Punk monster in your graveyard and special summon it except a level 5 monster, which is a great effect to basically use this card as a monster reborn. We then play 3 copies of Foxy Tune. Foxy Tune is great to help us get the exact Punk monster we need on our side of the field. This card is a crazy powerful effect that you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, along with another card from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon a Punk monster in deck except a level 8 monster, which is a great ability to help us instantly get the exact monster we need on our side of the field, like a copy of Xiaomin. We then play 3 copies of Rising Scale. Rising Scale is definitely a 3-of as well, and this card helps out so much in the deck and is such a powerful card to be able to summon off your copy of Cucumber Horse, or to be able to just summon this card as a combo piece. You can actually banish one other Punk monster from your hand to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is special summoned, you can pay 600 life points and add to your hand or special summon a Punk monster from your deck or graveyard except a level 8 monster, which is an extremely powerful effect to instantly get another Punk monster out on your side of the field using this card, meaning you can actually bring it back to your side of the field using your copy of Cucumber Horse to be able to get a special summon of a Punk monster, which is so cool. We then play a single copy of Ogre Dance. Ogre Dance is basically a Rhoda for the deck, but you really only need a single copy of this card. You can actually send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to add a Punk monster from your deck to your hand, except a level 8 monster. We then play 3 copies of Nichiria Mole Cricket. Mole Cricket is really good as a 3-up in the build and awesome to help us get a plant monster out on our side of the field, as this card has the ability during the main phase, quick effect, you can actually attribute this card to special summon a Naturium monster from your deck, or if you can special summon out 2 Naturium monsters if your opponent controls a monster with the highest attack on the field, even if it's tied, which is a great effect to instantly bring out a copy of our Sunflower and our copy of Camellia. When this card is just really good in the deck to be able to basically just summon out to your side of the field, because it can basically bring out your copy of Camellia to your side of the field, which is awesome. Plus, it makes it super easy to step into your copy of Naturium Beast using your copy of Camellia. This card also has a really cool ability that if your opponent special summons a monster from the X-Deck, or you special summon a Naturium monster from your X-Deck while this card's in the graveyard, you can actually special summon this card, which is a really powerful ability to instantly bring out your copy of Naturium Beast and then bring it back to your side of the field, which is so cool. We then play 3 copies of Camellia. Camellia is definitely a 3-up in the build because this card is our plant monster that we're using with our copy of Cucumber Horse. And this card is just really good to be able to summon, as in its normal or special summon, you can actually send a Naturia card from your deck to the graveyard, which you can send something to the graveyard like your copy of Sacred Tree so we can get a search. This card also has the ability, if you attribute a monster to activate a Naturium monster's effect, you can actually send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard instead, which is a great effect to use with your copy of your Sunflower. We then play a single copy of Sunflower. Sunflower is great for our Naturia engine, as this card is actually a monster negate, because you can actually tribute this card and a Naturia monster to negate the activation of an effect monster your opponent controls and destroy it, which is a great ability to be able to use, especially with the effect of Camellia. We then play 3 copies of Imseti. The Horus package is great in this deck to basically make the zombie vampire, so we can mill from our deck to the graveyard our copy of Cucumber Horse, so we can actually use its effect and get its targets into the graveyard, which is just absolutely amazing. This card is also great because it can search our copy of King Sarcophagus directly from our deck to our hand by sending this card and another card from your hand to the graveyard. You get to add your copy of King Sarcophagus from your deck to your hand and also draw a card, which is awesome. We then play a single copy of Happy. Happy is great as a 1-up in the build to basically just use this card and it's an additional level 8 to make your copies of your rank 8 monsters, but it helps out a lot in this build for your Horus engine to get 2 level 8s on the board. We then play 2 copies of an extremely spicy tech card that I'm actually going to lay face down, and we're going to play Guess That Card. So this card is a really spicy tech card that you can actually bring back to your side of the field using Cucumber Horse, and definitely comment down below what you guys think this card actually is. And we're going to reveal this card in 3, 2, 1. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. Hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below. But let's go ahead and see what this card actually is and see if you guys got it right down in the comments below. But this card is actually Grand Tusk Dragon. This card is an extremely interesting card to play in this deck, as this card has the ability, and this card is normal or special summon. You can target up to 2 other cards on the field and destroy them. So when you summon back your copy of Cucumber Horse and you bring back Grand Tusk Dragon to your side of the field, you're able to actually pop 2 cards on the field every single battle phase, as you can bring back your copy of Cucumber Horse, which is absolutely crazy. It's just such a good target to be able to bring back with the effect of Cucumber Horse. But I really like playing 2 copies just to guarantee that we're going to be able to mill it to the graveyard. You can always send it to the graveyard with your copy of Imseti or your copy of Foxy Tomb or even King Sarcophagus if you do draw into it. But it's really good to be able to bring back to your side of the field using your copy of Cucumber Horse, so every single battle phase you get to pop 2 cards, which is so cool. But definitely comment down below what other cards you guys would actually use with Cucumber Horse as an awesome spicy tech card, because these 2 cards could be any tech card in the entire game. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is a really good 3-up in the build to basically just stop the opponent from touching the deck. We then also play 3 copies of Molcharmy Fluros. Fluros is great to help us dig into the deck for the exact cards that we need. We play a single copy of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Ghost Ogre is searchable in the deck, which is why we just play a single copy of this card, but it's a definite 1-up in the build. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get in to the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Jam Extreme Session. This card is basically a Pot of Greed, and it's searchable off our copy of Wagon, which is why I play this card as a 1-of in the build. This card is really once per turn, you can actually banish a punk monster from your graveyard to special summon a punk monster from your hand, and if a psychic monster you control paid life points to activate its effect, you can actually draw a card and use that effect up to twice per turn, which is actually insane. We then play 2 copies of King Sarcophagus. King Sarcophagus is great in this deck to basically just help us bring back to our side of the field our copies of our horse monsters to get level 8 on our side of the field so we can start making rank 8 plays. It's just a really good 2-of in the build to basically just guarantee us 2 level 8 so we can go in for the zombie vampire. Plus this card helps us get cards like Grand Tusk Dragon or Cucumber Horse from our hand to the graveyard, which is really good. We then play 3 copies of Emergency Teleport. Emergency Teleport is an amazing 3-of in the build and basically just helps us bring out our copy of Xiamen to our side of the field directly from our deck. And it's just a really good 3-of in the build, so we don't have to waste our normal summon on Xiamen. We can just summon out our copy of Camellia or Mole Cricket to guarantee we have a plant monster on our side of the field for the effect of our Cucumber Horse to bring itself back from the graveyard, which is just super cool. And then let's play 3 copies of Naturia Blessing. Naturia Blessing is really good as a 3-of in the build because this card is basically a monster reborn for your Naturia monsters. You can activate one of these effects, but the main effect we're using on this card is to actually special summon a Naturia monster from our hand to the graveyard, which is the main effect we actually use on this card to instantly bring back our copy of our Naturia Camellia to our side of the field, or even a Mole Cricket. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing one, and that's going to be a single copy of Sacred Tree, which is unfortunately still at 1. And this card is definitely a 1-of in the build, because if it's sent to the graveyard, you get to add in a Naturia card from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card. Hopefully, eventually this card goes back to 3, and if it does, this card would definitely be a 3-of in the deck. But currently, this card is just at 1, so we're only playing a single copy. So again, this card is really good to be able to send to the graveyard off your copy of Camellia, so you can get a search of another card, which is just super cool, like a copy of Blessing. So if it is sent to the graveyard, you get to add any Naturia card you want from your deck to your hand. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with Amazing Dragon. Amazing Dragon is definitely a 2-of in the build, and this card helps out so much in the deck. As if this card is Synchro Summon, you can actually target cards your opponent controls up to the number of level 3 psychic monsters with different names you control and in your graveyard, and return them back to the hand, basically being a massive bounce, which is absolutely amazing. This card helps out so much in the build, and just definitely a 2-of in the deck to give us bounces, because you can easily get your copy of your Shirakusai, Xiamen, Wagon, and even Ghost Ogre in the graveyard. Basically just use this card as a bounce 4, which is super cool. We play a single copy of the Cursed Thunder God. Cursed Thunder God is great as a board wipe and just a really good 1-of in the deck to basically just summon this card out to your side of the field and just gain some life points back, because you are going to pay a lot of life points in this deck for your punk cards. We play a single copy of Psychic End Punisher, and this card is really good in the deck as a 1-of, as this card just gets absolutely massive and can easily swing in for game, especially how much we pay for our punk cards. We play a single copy of Dragite. Dragite is great because this card is actually a spell trap negate. Playing a single copy of Jam Dragon Drive. This card is awesome as a combo piece, as if this card is actually special summon by the effect of a punk card, or it's synchro summon. You can pay 600 life points to take a level 3 psychic monster from the deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard, so you can actually search out your copy of Ghost Ogre, which is super cool. We play a single copy of Naturia Beast. Naturia Beast is a spell negate, which is really good to be able to play in the deck. It basically just constantly negates spells, and it's super cool to actually make it in this deck. Play a single copy of the Zombie Vampire. This card is so good in this build, just to build a bunch of cards from our deck to the graveyard, so we can actually get our copy of Cucumber Horse and Grand Tusk Dragon into the graveyard, so we can bring it back to our side of the field, or even bring out a punk monster to our side of the field, or even our Naturia card, which is super cool, because we basically mail the top 4 of both players' decks to the graveyard. Then we get to bring a monster back among those 8 cards to our side of the field, which is awesome. We play a single copy of number 38. Number 38 is great in this deck to basically just summon this card as a spell negate. He has a single copy of Teardrop. Teardrop is amazing in this build. This is actually a plant rank 8 monster that we can tribute for the effect of our copy of Cucumber Horse, but it also helps us deal with our opponent's cards, which is really good. You can detach a material from this card and then target a monster on the field and tribute it, and it's a quick effect. This card has a plant monster as a material, which is a pretty cool ability. And we have a single copy of Jam Fever. Jam Fever is great, and this card is just super good in the build. You can actually play 2 of it if you wanted to drop the copy of number 38 for a second copy of this card if you want to. But it's just really good to be able to summon, because you can also exile summon this card by using a Punk Fusion or singular monster you control as a material. And also you can pay 600 life points, detach a material from this card, and then draw a card, which is a great effect. And also, this card is actually a walking negate, which is actually insane. We can lay a single copy of Melee of the Trees. Melee of the Trees is crazy powerful, and also another plant monster we can summon in this deck for a copy of Cucumber Horse, because it just requires 2 earth monsters that are level 3 to make this rank 3 monster, so you can easily summon out your copy of 2 of your punk monsters to your side of the field and make this card, so you can actually detach a material from it and send a plant monster from the deck to the graveyard like your copy of Cucumber Horse. And then a single copy of Rising Carp. Rising Carp is amazing in this build, and an awesome combo piece for Punk, is you can tribute this card and then special summon 2 Punk monsters with different names from each other from your hand or deck, except a level 8 monster in defense position, which is great to summon out something like a copy of Wagon and Deerno, so you can actually synchro climb your copy of Jam Dragon Drive while also using your copy of your Deerno to be able to bring back your copy of another monster to your side of the field, which is awesome. Then play a single copy of SP. SP is great just as a double interruption. And then finally play a single copy of Alamirage. Alamirage is just really good in the deck as a 1-of, just in case you need to link something away. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Cucumber Horse deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try, because it's so much fun to be able to play, and it's insane the amount of spicy tech cards I included in this build for you guys. So, that's gonna be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can come pro notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.